have enough time to talk about what the STARTS program has brought to my teaching.
At least speaking for myself has changed my teaching.
It really made my teaching practice student-centered.
We're able to promote learning on a completely different level.
I think it helps me learn more about that math or the science that we've been learning.
In 2014, the Alameda County Office of Education launched the School Transformation Through the Arts initiative in 2 middle schools in East Oakland, Roots International School and Alliance Academy. The goal was to subvert the dominant paradigm of education, to support teachers in rediscovering their inherent strengths as well as the art and joy of teaching. School Transformation Through the Arts, or STARTS, was designed to support teachers and administrators in creating school cultures that are spaces of creativity, inquiry, and joy, and to let students of these schools see their own truths, that they're brilliant, that they are creative, and that their futures are full of possibilities.
Okay, workshop session, and this was birthed out of a really quick closing brainstorm. We take some time just to do some big picture thinking, and throughout today's ILT, narrow in. At the start of this grant, I think expectations were pretty low, just given our experience being a school who's had a bevy of money and streaming coming from every which direction, tied to both things that we believed in and things we didn't believe in. There was a time when we were still searching for who we wanted to be, where we were open to trying anything so long as it came with quote-unquote support. Yeah, the arts sound great, but we really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, and we didn't know how closely tied that was to who we really wanted to be.
What I knew when I came here was that people were capable, children were capable of learning, teachers were capable of teaching, and families were capable of loving where their students go, even in deep East Oakland. But we needed to open up some pathways to make sure that trust and belief could shine. And I think that's what really ended up happening to change, that people found what they really cared about and found that they wanted to believe in this mission that our zip code didn't have to dictate the quality of the education we brought here.
Arts integration encourages students to engage in hands-on art making to explore and understand academic subjects more deeply. Families participate in a school-wide exposition of student work.
So this is it's like Oakland, but aka Havens Court, and I guess you could say the future. This project I learned that how to create a sustainable food source in the community, because there's not that many grocery stores. Like I said, there's more liquor stores around than grocery stores. And if people wanted to go to grocery stores, they would have to go really far, like to San Leandro.
Our project in this class in English is about this book named Pygmalion, and it has different things about social class and also money involved in people's identity. And our projects are based off a girl named Eliza, which is the main character in Pygmalion.
Yeah, so we're doing if her internal identity changed when her external identity changed.
Pues lo que a mí me gusta es que yo veo que la niña recibe bastante ayuda y tiene varios maestros y pues ella está contenta más que nada con la escuela.
So what she likes is that she gets a lot of help and there's many teachers who will support, and she says that her daughter is happy here.
Just in this year alone, in year 3, the transformation is so evident. Our student expo last night, the fact that we have our first full musical that we've put on. Students are creating art in every class. They're using the studio habits of mind, and the way we're thinking the same, we're speaking the same, and it's all about creation.
I think for most of the classes, when they've used the strategies and techniques that we've learned through STARTS, they see that there's learning that's growing each time.
The most meaningful aspect of arts integration has been being able to chip away at what I feel is like this brick wall or brick backpack that students walk around with, because I feel they are so stifled with standardized testing that they really don't know how to be in a classroom, because they're used to skill and drill, give me the answer, is this the right answer, instead of being able to think more critically and creatively about what they're learning and being able to be in a safe space to challenge what they're learning.
There's no such thing as perfect is another thing, is that's always what blocked me from being able to do art or sharing what I created with others, is thinking, oh, well, there's this idea of an artist and their work is perfect. And what STARTS did is it made me realize that art is about the process, and understanding the process and really understanding the metacognition of an artist.
It's really about knowing you have a voice, how do you use that voice, knowing that your passion and your indigenous knowledge is fine and that you absolutely need it to succeed. When I see students create an African dance and they chose to do it, or I see students explain to me how African and Mayan culture has connections, and they're just talking to me about it in the hallway. Or a Latina student says, we've all been slaves before. And that stuff is amazing to me, and it says something about who you are. So in the big dream, that's how kids speak and know and leave here. That's powerful. I can't imagine what the world would be like if every kid in the hood left and went on to high school thinking that way and speaking that way.
There are conversations that right now they're not a part of. And so by learning how to interact with what's happening in today's world, by learning how to interpret it, how to analyze it, and how to engage it and debate, intelligently about it, it allows them to enter the conversation.
I never knew myself until I watched my words heavily grip listeners in empathy. I never knew myself until I held a paintbrush in my palm. I never knew myself until I sang my song for a crowd in a dim pub in London. I have suppressed myself for 24 years, and the only thing I have learned is that if you neglect your talents for too long, you will hate you. I never loved myself until I was able to say I am an artist, and that was just now. That poem very much comes out of me really reflecting on why, even now, why it's really difficult for me to want to pursue my artistry. But I feel like, I don't know, the STARTS program just made it very apparent to me that it's not something that I cannot contend with if I want to be a happy person, if I want to be a whole person.
One of my biggest reservations at first was, how do I interpret art? How do I do that? It's very personal, and it's very hard to see what someone's thinking unless they tell you that. But they really taught me, as someone who's not really considers themselves an artist, how to look at work, how to examine it, how to give students the structures they need to show what they've learned in a way that is supportive for them, but also very informational for myself.
So I think the work that we've done on integrated learning and the arts integration has definitely stimulated student thinking. It's definitely challenged teachers to actually step out of that shell and say, okay, well, this is new information for me. This is a new way of learning, and how can I develop that inner artist myself that is then going to transpose onto the students and celebrate that kind of learning?
I mean, I would say the biggest shift for me is it really made my teaching practice student-centered rather than what I'm comfortable with. It's not about me, it's about the learners in front of me and their experiences, and me facilitating a space that allows them to express themselves in the best way possible for them.
I have been privy to students sharing deeply personal and emotional parts of themselves with me because they have been able to express themselves in other ways in my classroom. Because unfortunately, not a lot of Black and brown students have access to expressing themselves and learning in this type of way.
I think what I've been saying lately is leaning with love. And this is this idea that you do have to lean in sometimes. When people are stagnant, children, families, teachers, when they don't see growth opportunities, when they don't see their own success, in order to sort of push forward, you do have to lean in. It's never an issue that you want to push someone harder, but what you're leaning in with is what makes the difference.
I think there's something very intellectual, something very brave, and something very powerful in the fact that our teachers base their teaching out of love. I've heard a lot of teachers here say they teach out of their hearts or from their hearts, and I think that that is tangible in the way that students talk about their teachers, in the way that students relate to their teachers and show love to their teachers.
At the end of each school year, teachers at both Roots International and Alliance Academy come together to share their work in a collegial, celebratory event they call a curriculum slam, a non-competitive practice developed out of Chicago Public Schools.
So my name's Ron Hurd, and I would like to welcome you to the 2018 School Transformation Through the Arts Curriculum Slam.
We actually had to talk about how do you make a pillow. And this is the most exciting part for me as an educator, because we got to the math, and it was how does the weight of my pillow affect how comfortable it is? And this is also kind of my most awkward moment because we actually didn't get to this question. It's really about pride over product. It's really over students over standards.
Because of the lyrics, because there's a lot of connection opportunity for kids to think about, how am I already a leader? What change do I want to see? What is my community?
Our unit was called Our Colonial History. Their poster, when it's closed, it shows a traditional view. When they opened it, it exposed the revolutionary viewpoint of history that reinserted the voices that were left out.
I'm learning and growing with my students and learning from them, and I think that using the arts is allowing us all opportunities to explore hidden talents and appreciate them in one another.
It just holds so much meaning that we are changing public education and really supporting the arts to have a more vivid and active place in the ways that we hold our students and the ways that we hold our communities.
It was both profound and entertaining as it was intimate, which I thought was just a testament to what teaching is. I had some former teachers, some Roots teachers who I worked with 10 years ago. Who left after my first year, who came, they had moved, they had lived a lifetime and come back. They were walking through our halls, checking out the expo, and on his way out, he turns to me and he says, "Are you guys an art school?" And it just dawned on me, and I just said, "Yeah, we are."
when you teach in communities that have been systematically oppressed, when you teach in communities that are struggling financially, literally showing up happy to be where you are and not letting the effects of oppression and depression affect you is an incredible state of events.
I feel more of a communal space that takes care of our social and emotional needs the most, because you can't really get to content until I know my students, until I can really see what they come to class with and how to hold their hearts and how to hold their spirits.
Just know that there's greatness here. There's beauty here. Our kings and queens are brilliant. We're giving them tools to help to equip them, but they arrive with greatness. Our goal is to draw that out. And so just get ready for them, because they're coming.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.